Today I guess I'll be showing you how to do some animation. And yeah, so the software I'm using it's called TVP Animation Pro or TV Paint Animation. It's a bitmap-based animation program, and it pushes pixels really, really well. And so, okay, so for the 5 things that I'm going to have, my little table of contents written down on a JatPad are going to be a bouncing ball. I'm going to do this as a 2D one, and we'll do it from one side. Right now I am using a Nostromo controller, so down there in the bottom left-hand corner, this little blue thing here, this is my Nostromo controller. It's a one-handed split keyboard that allows me to control the undos and redos, so I can undo and redo with one hand, hands-free, well, just one hand. And it also allows me to cycle the animation around, and maybe let me just turn on my, let me turn on, there we go, the keyframe display down below so you can see just what's going on. Okay, so I can throw in one frame and another frame and another frame, and I can scrub through these with the mouse wheel. Very important thing about doing hand-drawn animation on the keyboard or on a computer, or if you're going to do it you know, on paper, is have a good setup. The reason I say this, like, ergonomics and setup is going to be really, really important, just because you're going to be doing so much of it. Animation is going to take a lot of work, a lot of drawing, and there's just no escaping that. So you better have a good setup, which can, you know, help you deal with that. So for the first frame, actually it's not even the first frame. I'm just setting up a background. This is going to be a 2D bouncing ball, just viewing it from the side. And so I've drawn the ground. I have one layer with the ground there, and I've set it to hold. And so I'll throw in another layer, and so this one will be for the ball. So I will begin just by drawing the ball. And I can just add a frame. So if you'll see here, right, I can add a blank frame and go to that next one. So rather than, so now that I have the first frame of the ball up in the air, I'm not going to go little bit by bit, moving the ball down. I'm just going to say, well, the ball is going to hit, and it's going to go, it's going to hit right there. Bam. All right. So ball up in the air, hitting on the ground. Maybe if I turn on my light table, I'll realize, oh, I did a bad thing. Because if we look at the center of the ball, it's off center. So yeah, I've got my light table on, and that will help me with getting the ball properly centered. And so now we can imagine the ball. Hey, look, it's animating. Really, these are the first 2 most important frames you're going to get. These are going to be the extremes, the extreme movements or extreme poses of the animation. So starting with the ball up, going down. And now I'm going to figure out, well, I want the ball to begin falling, but I also want it to stretch a bit. So I'm going to draw, that's the upper limit of the ball, and I'm going to have the ball stretch. So doing that, right, as I flip up and down on the previous and next frames, I can see an after image. And, you know, maybe I'll adjust it. I'll move it down. Let's see. Okay, now move it up. All right, so there's a lot of this iteration stuff. I don't try to draw the ball until, let's see how that feels, right? How does it feel? And remember, this is illustration and not, this is animation and not illustration. So I'm going to just figure out where the bottom of that ball is, right? And, you know, don't even worry about drawing it circular. Like, all you care about is, don't worry about how things look. Think about where things are and how much space they take up, where things are in space. All right. Don't worry if your lines look like crap. Don't worry if your drawings look like poop. It's fine. It's actually good that your drawings are shoddy. You know, they can be messy. Maybe in this case, I don't like how it feels like the ball is stopping. It feels like it's slowing down just prior to it hitting. So I'm going to go back up there and eliminate that one frame. Or, hang on, wait a minute. I should eliminate this frame here. Let's see how that looks. So I have 4 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam. Okay, good. And then let's draw some impact lines. Okay, once again, if we look at the light table, I can see that that is where my center is, and everything needs to be moved over. So if I hit, I'm just going to shove those over. Okay. I know some people are going to say, which key is it in TV Paint? And I'm not going to tell you, because if I did, it won't work on your version of TV Paint because I've changed all my keys. They're all custom. So everything that I'm using is all customized to exactly what I, to my own preferences. So there's really no point in me telling you which key does what. But just I want you to have a glimpse of the workflow, right? Of throwing in your extreme frames, flipping, like here I can think. Let's see. Maybe I'm going to put it in between here, between these two frames, right? This is a bit of too much of a jump. So I'll throw in a frame. Now it's a blank frame. I'll even turn off my light table, right? And I can go before and after, before and after, before and after. And right now, right, I'm kind of having a bit of a brain fart. I'm not quite seeing what that empty frame is. So I'll put in the first two tick marks, right? How does that make me feel about it? Well, maybe I need to adjust this up, right? That is a little better. Okay, good. Right? So let's look at that again. So if I'm just flipping through right now. Let's see. How do I feel about that acceleration? Wham. And then let's make it bounce up. So I could just grab these other frames and then just, I could make it go forward then back. Right? I could do that. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is, well, I'll just power through it. I'm going to make it so that from here to the ball's not going to go as high, so I'm going to make it maybe it'll be about here, right? And yeah, it's off center, so fine. Just shift that guy, right? Just take it off the pegs and shift it. Boom. Okay. Boom. And of course, this is not a looping animation, right? So bang. So between here and here, I'm going to throw in an in-between between these two frames. So let's do that. So here, I can't really tell, so I'm just going to draw something, right? You need something in there, because look, now when you flip, you can see the difference, right? You can see, oh, it's going way off center. Maybe I should let's get a center line in there. Ah, that will help. Right, and just gradually box in. Okay, so that's too far off to the side, so box in. Maybe I'll box a little, maybe it'll be a little lower. That's about right. Let's see how that one looks. Boom. Not bad. Boom. And maybe here, I'm going to throw in an in-between between here and here, so I'm going to find that midline. Yeah. So let's play that. So it's going to feel a little fast, right? It's playing at 24 frames a second. If it's playing too fast, then you need to throw in some in-betweens to slow it down. But this is the basic workflow of the animation. Is that, yeah, this is just a 2D bouncing ball. Get that motion in there. Get that motion looking good. And of course, yeah, it's too fast, so then you're going to wind up flipping it manually with the, in this case, I'm using a mouse wheel to flip it, right? Get that motion feeling really good. And then afterwards, you can clean it up and worry about how nice the lines are. But really, most of that stuff, the actual cleanup is mostly grunt work, and it's just very laborious. You have to be very careful, and you're doing a lot of cleanup, and yeah, it is laborious. And so I prefer to stay keep things rough, because this is just where I enjoy most of it. This is where like 80 to 90% of how the animation looks like is going to come off. So anyway, I think that's a good time to stop. I'm going to work on a 3D bouncing ball in the next one. So, all right. And let's stop the recording if I can find out where my mouse is. Here we are.